2017, there was the Tubbs fire. Santa Rosa and Sonoma County had a horrible fire that burned down several thousand houses. We, with several groups, ran a kind of a commissary behind the Vets building, giving out stuff to anybody and everybody. And after 17 days, we shut it down. And there was about 25 ton stuff left, estimate. And we went out and rented 7 storage units, Bruce's barn, my trailer, and my garage. And we saved all of it, because if we just left it there, people would just take it that didn't need it. And we slowly started formulating a way we could help the fire business. And we did that. We hooked up with the Deputy Sheriff's Association, which oddly enough had deputy sheriffs that were retired running it, but they couldn't be members. But anyway, that's a long story. We moved into a warehouse in Cotati with them that it was 170 by 200 something feet. We had, as an example, 47 cases of Lagunitas beer and 4,000 brand new quilts from India. A whole variety of things. We rented about, we didn't rent, it was free, but we had about 100 by 100 foot area. And we dispersed furniture, food, toiletries, blankets, you name it, to local fire victims, Lake County fire victims, Butte County fire victims, some in Mendocino County. And as that need slowly dwindled, we realized that there were a lot of veterans and other families out there that were in need. I can't remember the exact year, but about 3.5 years ago, Purple Heart became a 501c3. They had given me a community service award some time ago, and so they asked me if I would be their representative and shop at the food bank for them. So this started a program. We were in 3 storage lockers in Roanoke Park, where we were getting, at that time, we were getting about 1,500 pounds of food a month, free. Some was, others were paid for. And we got food, we had military surplus, we had donated supplies, and we had the food from the food bank, which we dispersed to veterans, to veteran families, to families in need, whoever needed it. And it was all mostly by word of mouth. We didn't have any formal organizations to do it. Not enough people, number one. Number two, we didn't have a storefront we could use. You had to have a code to even get in. After about 2 or 3 years, 2 years of that, we came across a warehouse. We've been looking for a couple of years. This became available. It's actually cheaper than 3 storage units, trust me. And we hooked up with the VFW by then, Purple Heart, the VVA 223 in Santa Rosa, and now of course AMVETS. And together the 4 groups are helping support this warehouse. Biggest single cost is the rent. And rent, gasoline, and minor supplies are the 3 things that we have. What we've tried to do, we know we can't help everybody everywhere, but we've tried to concentrate on keeping as much local as we can, especially Sonoma County. We've gone to Butte County many, many times, actually 36 trips, but that was during their firestorm in need. We go to Lake County on a monthly, bi-monthly basis. We've been to Mendocino County. Most of our stuff is with different agents we partner with to help distribute the food and supplies. I don't know, I guess I can name them. The pantry at Two Rock, the Roanoke Park Small Home Village is run by Home First, is the name of the organization. The Public Defender's Office, the diversion program and FACT program with the County Justice Department. Bridges, which is a medical clinic. Stewart's Point, the Kashaya School, the Native Language Public School. Heather's Unsheltered Project in Petaluma. She does distribution to homeless people in the streets. We help her out. I think what else? Presbyterian Church in Kelseyville. She's the only hot meal each week. Lake County right now. Organization called SWIM, Solano Women in Medicine, operating in Lake County. They're in basically the northeast quadrant, Lucerne and stuff, and they have 400 or 500 homeless clients that they deal with. We help them with food and supplies where we can. And anywhere from 10 to 20 individuals a month we come across that need food, stuff like that. I think we'd probably, if you average it out, it's probably about between 8 and 10 pounds per individual each month that we help. Military surplus is on word of mouth basis. I probably should be a little more than it. If you tell me that someone needs a pair of boots, that's good enough for me. But if some civilian says I need a pair of boots, we're going to have to talk some documentation. Have I helped other than veterans? Yes. A couple of years ago, there's some flooding in the river here. I just gave about 20 sleeping bags to them. They were military and stuff. You want to slap my wrist, slap it. I'm just here to try to help people because I have the time. I don't have the money, but I got time. And that's the important thing. And I think all of us that work here, it really feels good. It's a good feeling to help other people. Are there people that cheat the system? Yeah, that's everywhere. But I'm thinking of the good in people, and everybody deserves a handout, not a handout. That's my line. Any questions you want to ask? That's basically how we got here.
Give me some statistics about the food.
Well, I can say probably since we started not quite 4 years ago, it'll be December, it'll be 4 years since we started distributing food. We're probably approaching 160, 170,000 pounds of food that we've distributed. A certain amount. I know for a fact that we're probably between 300 and 400 pairs of boots, at least 200 to 300 sleeping bags over the last few years. And we have a variety of clothing that's military. It varies from what's available, from everything from new socks and underwear. Example, right now we've got a bunch of the colored t-shirts that the naval people wear on the flight line and the decks of the carriers, the turtlenecks, yellow, orange, green, blue, right there. So we have those that are brand new. So we give those out mainly to veterans as needed, and we depend on third-party people saying, hey, I have a veteran in need, they need a pair of boots or something like that. Some veterans just need a pair of boots because they got a new job, and that's good enough for me. You don't have to be coming in here with duct tape around your tennis shoes to get something. My feeling is this, if you feel that you need it, we're here. That said, we just don't give everything out to anybody anytime. It's really important for the word of mouth because we don't have a storefront. Lake County's got a storefront right next to the museum, so people can just walk by and see what they are when they're open and walk in. We don't have that, so we depend on word of mouth, and we're trying to keep it simple. You need food, you can come get it, or we'll deliver. We've delivered food to people's houses that people can't get out. They don't have a car, they're bedridden or whatever. We've delivered food to them. And the food is what happens to be available. I can't say it's not like going to Safeway and buying a whole bunch of groceries. We're at the mercy of what's available on any given day we're there. But I truly believe that the combination of food and military surplus and other civilian like sleeping bags and blankets that we get, towels, that combination and a bunch of veterans, we all have the same purpose. Help veterans and their families and community service. What better way to do it than have something for them when they need it.
Is there anything that you give out or want to give out that you have shortfalls from? What can be helped?
Toiletries, bars of soap, small toiletries. We deal with big toiletries for certain people, but the small toiletries, if you're living outside, there's a lot of kits that people give to people living outside. But when you gotta travel, like nobody living outside that doesn't have food, they don't need a bag of rice, and every rat in the county is gonna be there looking for it. They need food that they can consume when they need it. They need toiletries that are lightweight, they can carry with. So small toiletries are really good. Winter jackets, we're coming up on winter. Winter jackets are always nice. We try to give out sleeping bags when we need them, and people say, well, they already have one. Well, if you've been in a sleeping bag for 2 years, you may not want to climb into it every single night, right? But you do. We have diapers. We give out diapers to people. This is a strange thing. Some people just wear diapers because they don't have to get up during the night. If you're in a sleeping bag and you're warm and outside. They're really weird things that we give out. Food stuff, snack food, peanut butter, crackers, tins of tuna. I should have bought stock in tuna. Because, tuna's a meal. And And so we try to deal with what we can. Beans, soups, I don't know. There's any number of things that we can come up with that we can give out. Socks. We get civilian shoes. Somebody donated 20 pairs of brand new tennis shoes. Just give them to whoever needs them. They're not every size you need, but they're there. And so I still think that the more groups and the more people we get together, the easier it's going to be. If all what is 30 veterans groups in a county, if we had 30 people, one from each group here, we'd have more than enough people to do everything. And it doesn't have to be 50 hours a week. Once every 2 weeks for a couple hours, 1 hour a week, whatever you can give. You know, it's your time. It's your important time, right? So I should, you know, and I never begrudge anybody. My only pet is don't say you're going to be here and then don't show up without letting me know, because if you plan on something. But we've been, I think, quite successful in trying to move food and stuff and get it out to the places that need it. Is everything exactly the way we want it to be? No, but it never will be. But I think one small amount that we do. You raising your hand, or you just waving to yourself? No, anyway, I'm just, my whole mantra has always been the veteran community, and we should all be working together. We have the same goals. And so, as you heard earlier, we a bunch of old timers, now we've got younger veterans, and they're searching for a way that may not be the same as the older veterans. And so, some way to bridge that gap so that, you know, as Matt mentioned, local. Try to keep everything local. I'll give to anybody. If somebody stops by and says, I'm from LA and I'm homeless, I need a sleeping bag, you got it. But the main thing is we start here. You know, it's that it takes a village type of thing. If we can show that we're caring for the community, then I think they'll care for us more.
Right.
Is that, you know, that's valid.
Talk to me for a minute about your financial needs.
Okay,
What's
financial
covered and
needs.
what you need.
All right, so for purposes of me driving around the county and the counties, I run about between $500 and $700 a month for gasoline. We spend about $100 a month for basically packaging, roughly $100 a month. The rent on this building is $1,200 a month, and like for the next year, because of things in place, it's set and it's covered. That said, if other groups were to join in, we could reshuffle the mix and make the burden less on everybody, and everybody would have a shared burden. None of us take any money for anything. We don't use any funds to go out and eat and then charge to anything. It's all volunteer completely. Maybe it'd be nice once a year for everybody to get together and have a nice meal. Who knows? Other than that, those are the main things we have. The main thing is $1,200 a month here. I can deal with almost everything else. Everybody's been really kind in trying to get me the money. It doesn't always come the day I ask for it. That being said, I can flow. So finances are important, and I took something to heart that someone said at a meeting a couple meetings ago in AMVETS was, why don't we give the money directly to the veterans? Well, we are, but if I hand everybody that's a veteran that needs something $50 bill, how do I know what's going to go, what's going on? You need to have some kind of control. If you're hungry, I'll feed you. If you need shelter, I'll get you a tent. I'll buy you a night in a motel, whatever. But what I found is that, indirectly, $1,200 a month, giving out $50, that's 24. That's quite a few veterans we can give money to. Is it going to make their lot any better? I'm not sure it is. But this way here, we can at least ensure if you're hungry, you get food. If you need a sleep bag, you get a sleep bag. What you do with it after, you lose control. After you give something to somebody, you lose complete control over that. And I don't have any control over that. I know what I can do, and I know how much we can help and how much good we've done. We, the collective group, have done, and it's been pretty massive. Like I said, I have those statistics going back 7 years, and eventually going to get that into it. I have a statistic. I have every single trip we've made to the example, a food bank. 2 people from my house to the food bank here and back to the house is 23 miles. Doesn't sound like much. In my truck, that's maybe 2 gallons of gas, $10. Doesn't sound like a lot, but we go 8 to 10 times a month. Well, there we go. There's half a tank of gas just for that. It adds up. It slowly adds up. It's like we're nickel and diming ourselves into success, but it's never guaranteed. Veterans groups suffered greatly during COVID. They couldn't do any fundraising. They lost sources of income that have never come back. And that said, everybody's on a tight budget. You know, I buy gasoline at AM, PM, Costco, Uncle Buddy's or Pomo Pumps, wherever I can get. Even I went to Travis to get supplies. I went gasoline at Travis, no sales tax. So I try to, we try to be as frugal as possible. I really think that someplace like this, where all of the veterans groups that wanted to be in on it, and whether you contribute money or time or both, and community service that could happen from this, not only for the veterans and their families, but for the community in general, would pay back more to the veterans in this community than anything else that I can think of, because they're going to remember things like that, And I think do veterans have an uphill battle everywhere? Probably. There's places where they don't as much, but here we do. There's always that factor about, we moved here, we made a difference, but where's the results of the difference? Nobody knows. It's, a can of beans at a time. But we did make a difference to the individuals that needed it, and to me that's the most important thing.
Give us a sense of about how many people you estimate that you're serving, that you're helping.
Well, I have to do a very good faith estimation of people that we help, because we don't directly giving it to everybody. But we run on low months, it's in the mid to high 200s, and the highest month, we had a month ahead up to 600 people that we helped. It was a very heavy duty month. But on the average, it's probably in the 300 range, and that includes people being fed every week up at the Presbyterian Church, people that are getting food packs out on the street from the outreach workers, stuff that we take to Shia School, people that frequent the pantry at Two Rock, public defender's office. What we do with them there is the homeless coming through the courts, they get a care package at the end. Sometimes toiletries, sometimes food, sometimes both. And that's how we got started with doing that. The retired public defender, her husband was a Vietnam veteran, and she still goes on looks for homeless veterans and stuff. So we got started. We have all of these agencies that help us. I can't give you an exact number because I don't know. It's a good faith estimate. And I'd say probably in the 300 to 350 range is more than likely who gets help directly. Food bank asked me, well, how many are repeat people? I go out to food encampments, I give them 20 pounds of food for 8 people. I don't know if it's the same 8 people. I'm trying to remember what I had for breakfast yesterday. I'm just, there's other things on my mind. They got fed. Someone needs that statistic, they're welcome to go find it. I think all of us that work here think of the same, we're on the same page, trying to think that, we need to help them when we can. And,
give us an example of a success story that you've had in helping
well,
someone.
I'm not going to name anybody. We had a guy that was homeless, and this is when we were HUD-VASH was putting people in housing. He actually took over somebody else's rental, so it was already furnished pretty much. And the Wednesday market used to be at the Defense Building. And he was out there one day and he was getting a cup of coffee from Bella Rosa, and they needed somebody. So they liked him, they got hired. And he worked for years at the Snack Barn, working out there in Bella Rosa at the facility out by the airport. He got a car. John Logan, who's passed away, had a car to give. He got a free car from him, got it smog. He is now living on his own. He went off the HUD-VASH voucher completely because he made too much money. He's got money in the bank, and he works 40 hours a week. He's every Saturday morning. You can see him at he's a veteran. Don't remember exactly when exactly he served, but it's a success story. He's got his own car, he's got his own place, and he pays his own bills. There's others, I'm sure. All I know is that everybody that works here comes when they can, and if they can't, that's fine too. Alan was booked up. His boss at the house had something going for him today, so he didn't show up. But it's all good. He'll be here. So we do have success stories. Our main thing is we have had people come by and say, "Hey, you really helped me out." I see them, different areas, the clinic and stuff. It makes you feel good. Makes you feel good. So like that.
Thank you for your time. I appreciate all of
problem.
this.